Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Global Domination. I am excited today because we've got a special treat. We've got Sam Higdon, young when you got into the real estate business. And man, you have done nothing but explore and grow and scale. And I want to dive into all this because I think you have one of the most impressive resumes. And absolutely, when I see the name Sam Higdon, I also see no fear attached to it. And that's a lot about what this business is, right? No fear.
Tenacious. So happy to be here, and thank you for having me on today. And yeah, looking forward to spilling the beans.
Let's dive in because, the reason for Global Domination is so that we can really I love highlighting real estate agents who have gotten into this business and have just said, I'm going to do it, right? We may not ever know if we're the smartest realtor, the best realtor or whatever, but we're the doers in the business. And that's what you've been. How long has it been that you've got into the business?
So 3 years. I'm just over 3 years and a few months. Yeah.
What attracted you to real estate in the first place?
The struggle. Blue collar. I was bouncing around the world. My history in Kentucky, really just blue collar, hardworking jobs. I was a lineman, making good money, saved some cash, bounced around the world, moved to New York City, and I was working these high-end gigs for Ferrari, Cartier, serving champagne to New York's elite. And I started asking questions. I'm wondering, what are these folks doing that I'm not? Why am I making cocktails for $30 an hour and this guy's buying a 1 of 50 Ferrari? And so you get various answers, go to college, network, and real estate. And so my reticular activator kicked on and I started looking around New York City. Real estate wasn't in my family. I had never really thought about it. And started looking at all the buildings, Madison Square Garden, office towers, parking lots, and said, wait a minute, this is all real estate. So realized that the barrier to entry wasn't crazy. It's obviously a competitive field, but I got after it. So started my real estate license in New York City, and then the pandemic hit. So on my way to real estate class, March 11th, 2020, broke my ankle. And then March 13th, the world got flipped on its head. But that was the start, just realizing, looking around, so wait a minute, I can do this.
That was your inspiration.
Yeah, New York City, the hustle and bustle.
So the world shuts down, and I'm assuming that's what brought you back to Kentucky.
Yeah, I just made it to the Lower East Side. I'd been in New York City for about a year and a half, bouncing around, started in Brooklyn, deep in Brooklyn, finally got to the Lower East Side. I was on my high horse and broke the ankle, was on a 3rd floor walk up. And it's so crazy because at the time, March 11th, the day I broke the ankle, it was pumping. Things were alive. New York was New York. And then went to the hospital. They broke me back into place, sent me back. And then I was holed up in the apartment for a week. When I went back on the 19th, it was desolate, like tumbleweed rolling down the streets. It's like you pick the city up, shake all the people out, and put it back, and it was just empty. So it's no reason to stay here footing, these bills. And so I flew home to recover. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And so started pursuing my license in Kentucky and got licensed October of 2020.
Nice. And your first year out of the gate, you did pretty darn well here in Louisville.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I did 34 transactions for $10 million. My first 3 months, I was actually with a small family firm, so 2 agents, and was out door knocking and cold calling FSBOs and expired listings. I was going and knocking on mansions and knocking on single family homes, and really, wasn't seeing any fruits of that labor. And accidentally, I came across 2 agents from a large residential brokerage. They loved my energy, my tenacity, saw that I was hungry, and I just needed at-bats. And what the guy said to me, he's like, look, I get it. You're on an 80-20 split, whatever. You think that's, you're going to make more money that way. He said, but look, would you rather have 50% of a big-ass deep dish pizza or 80% of a Lunchable? So that put it into perspective, and I was able to, join a team, obviously, on the 50-50, but I just kept getting at-bats with people that were, ready, willing, and able to purchase and sell, and just got after it. And at one point I had 12 pendings as a, 6 month in the business agent. Luckily there was an admin helping me service everything, but just grinding for 2 years.
And, and that's where we go back to the introduction today. And when I see your name, I automatically associate it with no fear, because that's what it is. You don't have, I think what holds most agents back, especially new to the business, is the fear of being told no, or the fear of somebody rejecting them, or the fear, and come on, let's be honest here. You had studied, passed the real estate exam, received a license, but nowhere did anybody show you or tell you exactly what to do.
Precisely.
It was trial by error, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you're knocking on doors, you're, didn't matter where, didn't matter what price point. What was the big way that you were getting most of the business? I mean, what was the big thing that you implemented that you landed those 34 transactions?
Honestly, it was the lead generation system, the broker paying for a large market share through Zillow and other platforms. And so there was a lead database of 10,000 leads, and there were 90 agents within the brokerage. Of the 90, 45 on the team. And so really we're competing internally, for the business that's coming in. And I was just making more quality calls than everybody else, and started at the bottom. And within 9 months, I was a top 10 agent for that year in the brokerage. And but really just having that opportunity.
Was it in your follow-up? Was it just in the conversations? Was it just genuinely getting to know and build relationships with people?
Precisely. I think, obviously there's value that comes with experience in the business, but if you're sharp and you can connect to people and you mean well and you're genuine, you're going to do good in any field. And so, I started in the business with $5,000 in my pocket and, bills and no income. And so I was hungry. I was tenacious, like it's sink or swim. But really just meaning well and genuinely wanting to take care of people and do well by them, I think helped me succeed. And, being somewhat likable, but just, getting after it and working and showing up. And it's like, hey, I'm going to take care of you. And the follow up and being there when your clients need you to be there, it's all combines to, create your success.
Well, and you got to be available too. You can't disappear on people.
Precisely. Yeah. And then
go ahead.
Well, when you're starting out, you'll do anything. You'll take on anyone, and then you show this person 20 houses and you're like, they're not serious. Like they're a tire kicker, And so over time you evolve, a better understanding. It's like, okay, well, I can tell off just the first 2 conversations that maybe this person's better for someone else. So you start to whittle down and refine, you look at your time and say, okay, everybody, all souls are created equal, but in the marketplace, we are not all equal. Right. So,
right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and I know too, look, I've met a lot of agents throughout my career in this industry, and, they'll say, oh, I'm buying Zillow leads, or I'm buying this, or I'm paying for this, but it doesn't amount to anything. Mm-hmm. And my exact response to them is, but what are you doing for it to amount to something? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's part of it. Just because you spend money on leads doesn't mean you're going to get to the closing table and ultimately earn your commission. And so you still have to work it. You still have to show up. You still have to be available and not be pushy. I think that's what you were saying when, being your authentic self and genuine self of truly wanting to help people get to what their goal is. If that's a bigger house, a smaller house, or moving out of state, you got to understand what it is they're wanting. Outside of the lead generation and what, the brokerage was providing to you, how else were you working on earning any business? Just networking events or?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it all boils down to relationships.
Yeah.
And relationships take time to foster. And I'm starting to see now, we're obviously full-time in commercial, and I wouldn't go back to the residential side, but people are calling me now to sell their properties or, buy another residence. But I mean, I was still calling FSBOs and off markets, and there was a point in time where I was starting to get other business on my own outside of the lead platforms. And I went to my broker a couple of times. I was like, look, anything that comes through the CRM, great. Let's keep it 50-50. But, I'm getting repeat business and I'm getting other business, and I would like a different split on these, these transactions. And he refused me, 2 or 3 times. And it's like, okay. So, going into year 2, I've had some funds built up, was confident in the business, and I said, okay, I can go out on my own and do this thing.
Yeah. And you've been doing just that. So let's talk about that transition from residential to commercial and what that's like and what made you make that decision.
Absolutely. So I was worn out. I made 150 grand my first year in the business, 165, and that was after my splits, and was living well below my means and had a decent stockpile of cash and a comfortable buffer. And right around September 22, I was burned out. I was so burned out and wanted to make the jump into commercial, more enticed by entrepreneurship and business-minded people. It's a more sophisticated environment, and I wanted to challenge myself. I get bored, and so I was like, okay, well, there's another level. This model's great. This broker's making amazing money. But I don't want to manage 90 agents, and I don't want to be a residential broker career. Nothing against it. So started looking at the commercial side of things and interviewing with different shops around town, and that's when I called on you. And we had some lunch at Gustavo's, maybe.
I think so. Yeah.
And met the guys, and then my world trip came. That off the cuff sabbatical that was not planned. I was only going to be gone a month because that's something I implemented. At the end of the years, I would take a month-long vacation to recharge, and Costa Rica's the hotspot. But took that trip and had a great learned your story, learned about you, your tenacity, your drive. I said, man, she is a go-getter. And the development side of things was very enticing as well, because that is our long-term goal, is commercial investors and developers, and deliver some really cool product to our market to begin with, but then going nationally and internationally, and we will do it.
You will do it. You're already on the path to doing it. You all are already knocking back huge deals.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm proud, because I always have that. Obviously everybody knows I could be Sam's mom on this. So, I'm proud about the no fear factor. I'm proud about how you guys have just literally taken some old school techniques, right? Before technology, before everything really became the forefront, you all have kind of gone back in history and said, we're going to do business and approach business kind of the old fashioned way. Sitting down and having these business meetings. You're walking into people's businesses. You're walking into commercial real estate and asking people what it is that they need. Whereas the business is kind of leaned into, well, let's send somebody an email and see if they respond, or, let's text somebody. When you enter the world of commercial and business, people do want to shake hands, right? And we're doing business all over the globe. And so not all the time, but we're able to at least interact face to face. And that's what I love about your all's approach and how you all are building and growing. You all closed a large deal. Actually, in 1 week, you all had the largest transaction close in Indiana and the largest transaction close in Kentucky. And when they reached out to tell me that, and you all that, and I said, and they're, I think, the youngest guys on the roster too, because none of you're all in your mid-20s. And, agents ask me all the time, they're like, Stephanie, tell us how to do what you do. And it's like, well, that's a little bit easier said than done, because it's not a class. I can tell you. And the first thing is get out of your own way and not have fear.
Precisely. Yeah. Exactly that.
Put things to work. There's going to be things that work. There's going to be people that tell you no. There's going to be people that you're going to build a relationship with that you may not do business with for 6 or 7 years. And that's okay too.
Yep. It's a game of persistence and patience, right? And finding that balance. And, the power of two, right? Two people get together, they focus their minds on something. It's twice as strong, if not, more further multiples when two people come together. We have the power of four, right? 4 young, hungry, smart guys. And we all have different skill sets, and it blends and it combines, and just providing as much upfront value as we can, and actually following through with what we say we're going to do.
Yeah.
Right? We have energy, and we have big goals, and the only way to achieve those goals is to do the work.
That's right.
We're after it.
Well, I love the fact too, because you guys have that business mindset, and you all spend a good portion of each day and week just on organization,
Hmm.
making your goals. I think that's the big reason why agents don't meet certain things they want to do in their careers, because they never set the goal to do it in the first place.
Hmm.
Y'all are all about systems and processes. And, each person has a different strength. And so, like for me, I'm the big picture. I save
Hmm.
the details for some other folks on the team, right?
Hmm.
They've
Precisely.
got to do the nitty gritty details. But that's what you all have recognized in the four of yourselves is that you're bringing each other some, different strengths, that when you put that package together, that's how you all are going to go out and land these multi-million-dollar transactions.
Precisely. And then just showing up with that youthful energy, because we are young guys in the business. And that was kind of a, hey, you guys are pretty young to be doing this. It's like, well, that's where our superpower lies. And then when I got back in after that trip and saw how much progress the guys had made in 9 months, and with the organization and just the preciseness and the cleanliness of everything, it's like we're really onto something here. So,
That's right. Well, and I love too, you obviously he joined EXP about a year ago. Has it been a year? A little over a year. Yeah.
September of 22, a little over a year. Yeah.
Yeah, a little over a year. And you guys are not only focused in on Kentucky, but you've done deals utilizing EXP's license portability to do
Hmm.
deals in other parts of the country and ultimately the globe,
Hmm.
as you start working on things. And since you're the well-traveled, well, actually, all of you all are well-traveled. You've
Yeah.
all spent time overseas and in different countries and in different parts of your lives. So that's impressive. What is your all's main focus right now? Are you trying to specialize in anything specific to a commercial asset class, or is it just everything?
We are doing everything. We don't, that is one of the great things about EXP versus some of the other larger commercial brokerages. You get siloed in. If you're an office guy and a very large multifamily person, a friend of a friend or a friend of a family member comes to you with that multifamily deal, you have to pass that off. You,
Yeah.
you cannot, so there's this, there's no, we are not siloed, but we are seeing a ton of success with industrial and business owners. So we do business brokerage as well, another thing that EXP allows. And the industrial sector has been robust. It's continuing to grow and expand, and it's an asset class that we've had a lot of success with. But we've also got some multifamily transactions that are set to close, some office, some retail. But industrial has been our golden ticket thus far.
Well, and actually, one of the large transactions you all just closed on was a trucking company. There wasn't
Mm-hmm.
even real estate involved in that.
Precisely. Yep.
And so this is what I love. Most real estate agents that are watching this, Sam, they're going to go, wait a minute, they're selling businesses. How can that be? Well, that's the thing. There's certifications that these guys have obtained to be able to represent businesses for sale. And,
Mm-hmm.
realtors can do that. They can sit through those certifications. But the other big thing right now is that, look, real estate agents, you have connections. You're working on selling houses to your clients, but those clients are also business owners, or maybe they want to become a business owner, or maybe it's time to retire and they need to sell that business. Well, that's what Sam and his team is focused on, is the valuation of businesses. And Sam, we love it, right? We love paying referral fees.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be over $3 trillion worth of businesses bought and sold over the next 3 years. And real estate agents, you're the key to those connections. So, work into your business plan this year and the years going forward to ask the question, do you need any help with buying or selling your business? Or would you like a business valuation?
Mm-hmm.
And then reach out to Sam and refer him the deal and grow additional income for yourselves.
Yeah, and keep in mind that a lot of times in the commercial world on the real estate side, I think a lot of this business is done off market. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
It's
100%.
the internal network of the brokerage or the the agents within the brokerage. But so a lot of times you're getting that 5-6% commission on the real estate side. Well, it's an 8 to 10% commission on the business sales side.
That's right.
If you don't have that skill set, if you're not afraid and you know that you can ask, and you have a network like Stephanie and our team to lean on, you can pass those business transactions our way, and you get 25% of a very large,
much larger check. You know, it's so funny because one of the largest referrals just in the last few months that we've got on the table right now, residential agent brought us this transaction. Their referral for doing nothing but the introduction, they put their client with us for their business sale. The referral is $247,000. That is more than what he's made any year on all his house selling ventures.
Yep. It's incredible. And
he's a strong agent, Sam. I mean, he does 60, 65 houses a year. But when you do the math, he's not quite making that $247,000, because think about it. There's no cost. There's no marketing dollars spent. There's no gas. You know, there's no anything. There's no hours. It takes 10 minutes to make a connection with folks. So
it's like 89.9% passive.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's exactly right.
Being an asker. I read an article the other day by a large real estate guy out of New York, and in the business world, in any business realm, you have askers and guessers, and most people are guessers, and they guess that, well, this person's going to shoot me down, or they're going to say no. They say no to themselves for the person that they didn't bother to ask. And so if you're an asker, tenacious askers, they'll ask to borrow your yacht. They may ask to borrow your girlfriend for a date, but being an asker, and you're going to get told no, and you're going to get shut down, but it's not personal. You just keep showing up and keep showing up and keep refining. And if you mean well and you execute on what you say you're going to do, it will pay off. You will prosper.
That's right. That's right. There's so many opportunities in this world around real estate to make money. I mean, I see why, when going back to your New York days and you're serving all the multimillionaires, and they're saying real estate, real estate, real estate. I mean, this is an industry of connections. I mean, I think about all the business that we have done and will do across 50 states and 24 countries. It's amazing the opportunities that we've had and will continue to have, networking with even, real estate agents all over the globe.
Precisely. I mean, I know you've got a castle listed in Scotland and some stuff in Costa Rica and the DR. So that's down the road. It's breaking into the international game, but it's already there. It's already accessible through EXP.
Through EXP, it is. It's absolutely. And, that's the thing. I think that real estate agents, when they're in their business and they're working on their business, they need to think about, okay, what's the goals? Do you want to master a neighborhood? Do you want to be the go-to for this zip code? Do you want to be the go-to for Louisville, Kentucky? Do you want to be the go-to for, whatever city it is? Or do you want your territory to be the entire globe? And that's the opportunity here, that we've had with EXP. And actually, it was funny. It just dawned on me. I was in Costa Rica listing that resort the first time you ever reached out to me and said, I'd like to take you to lunch.
Amazing. Yeah. So awesome.
It's amazing. And we're just two real estate people from Louisville, Kentucky. How funny is that?
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
It's everywhere. And, everything's interconnected. So the longer you do it, you start connecting dots, and just have no fear and do good work.
Absolutely. Well, if anybody out there would love to have a conversation with Sam, reach out to him, instant message him, Google him, pick up the phone, give him a call, send him an email, because it is a very interesting conversation. That's what we're here for. We are here to help other agents expand what it is they want out of their career, where they want to go with it, how they want to build. And you're hearing from two people that understand that the globe is our territory, and that's what we like to talk about. So that's what Global is all about.
Precisely.
Thank you so much, Sam, for being on here today. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. We'll get back to the grind and have a fantastic week.
All right.
Rest of your week. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks, everyone. We'll have contact information in the comments below.
See you guys. Reach out. Bye.